let's stick with the Olympics while we're talking about the Olympics. So far in the history of the Olympics, there's every Olympic has had problems, but not like this. Human feces floating in the water, a coach getting killed while in a cab, and now there's some conspiracy theory that they were trying to get away from people who were trying to rob them, and that's why it crashed. That could be true. That could be not true. An Olympic team was taking a walk near the village, the Olympic Village, and they were held up at gunpoint.
That was the swimmer.
Yeah, Brian Lochte of all people.
Brian Lochte.
Oh, yeah.
Just fucking crazy shit. And here's the craziness, Perry. They got security to police the security.
Before the whole thing before it all started, Frank, there was a problem with there was a lack of security because they couldn't afford to pay the security.
And the biggest problem is they're broke.
Yep. That's why they couldn't afford it.
Broke.
Yep.
They're going to have to cancel the Paralympics.
That's right.
They don't have the money.
What Frank, some of the things you're alluding to were stuff that happened before. What's interesting is what's happening now. Again, you've had a camera drops, falls down, injures 2 people.
Yeah.
You've got the incident with, as you alluded to, with the swimmers, Ryan Lochte getting held up for American swimmers. You've got a fire that's starting out in one part of the city that's now spreading, threatening to sort of cancel some events. You had last night with the pole vault, and you've got problems with them even being able to set up the pole vault.
Arshad, a Canadian.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so it's becoming kind
of...
Frank, what I said was forget about what happened before and concentrate on what's happening now. But even when you're concentrating on what's happening now, you've got issues that are sort of taking away from, just the glory or the stories.
Well, I've been watching the Olympics, and I watched some wrestling today. I've been watching the water polo events, and I can't believe how fucking dirty. If somebody was to say water polo was a dirty sport, I would say bullshit. Apparently it is. Nobody sees what goes on under the water. You've got athletes pulling hair out of the armpits of the other athletes. That's why a lot of them are shaving their armpits.
And it's always been like that, guys. It's always been that way.
No, I did not know that. I did not know. I thought water polo was a gentleman's or an upper echelon royal sport.
Tough sport, a mean sport.
Yeah.
Mean sport.
Yeah. And Frank, you're watching it down there on NBC. The strange thing is the big Usain Bolt race, where of course our boy DeGrasse won the bronze, was on tape delay. I mean, NBC, get your act together. That was delayed. They didn't see that live in the States. That's so stupid.
Not only that, NBC, somebody called Andre DeGrasse from France. So we made the big deal about the error by Elliot Friedman, an innocent mistake. It happens, right? But here's 2 days later, NBC calling a Canadian from France.
Yeah, but I watch it and I switch it to various stations just to see how much bias that there is, and I understand that we're all a little prejudicial. We're prejudicial about our street. We're prejudicial about our background. It's one thing to be prejudicial. It's another thing to be malicious, right? But the bias that's on some of the stations when the Canadians are out there is there's this little controversy of an American who's married to a Canadian and he wore something Canadian. A lot of people criticized him. I really don't understand. Maybe I'm naive.
And what was the name of the black swimmer who tied our young Scarborough girl for the gold medal last week? What was her name? Either way, the headlines the next day all across the U.S. was Michael Phelps shares gold medal with African American. I mean, and another woman from Chicago, gold medal winner by wife of Chicago Bear linebacker. It's like, come on, my goodness, especially Canada.
But it's unbelievable because we have a great relationship with the United States. And to have that kind of bias against Canada is we're not the enemy. I don't understand. And I just don't want to get into it because it pisses me right off. Some of the broadcasters, sports broadcasters, how lame they are and some of the shit that they say.